So I've done multiple videos now showcasing my parents' music collection, and they're really fun. I love those videos, but I've never done a video where I showcase my music collection because my videos showcasing my parents' music collection are all like reorganizing videos, but my music collection, I already have organized exactly how I want. I figured I would sit down here and do a tour of my music collection. That's the video. So we're just gonna go in order of how I have everything set up over here. I don't actually have it alphabetized. I know, shocker. But because I have such a small collection, I've organized it kind of by vibe and by category. You'll see what I mean when I go through it. There's a part in this movie, I think it's called High Fidelity, where the main character takes all of his records off of his shelf and he's reorganizing them based on like personal meaning or whatever.
I can tell you how I got from Deep Purple to Howlin' Wolf in just 25 moves. And if I want to find the song Landslide by Fleetwood Mac, I have to remember that I bought it for someone in the fall of 1983 pile, but didn't give it to them for personal reasons.
That sounds
comforting.
I feel like that is how I organize my music, but I have a very small collection, so I can do that. If I ever get more than this, I might have to start alphabetizing it. So to start out with, we have kind of a funny thing to start out with. I have the Beach Boys Christmas album. It was a Record Store Day Black Friday situation. I saved the hype sticker somewhere. Yeah, I stuck it to the freaking paper insert. This was before I really knew what to do and I wanted to save a hype sticker. But yeah, it's a green vinyl. Not much to say about it, you know, it's green. The reason that's there is because it transitions into the double album section of my record collection. So we start off with Endless Summer by the Beach Boys. This was one of the first records that I ever got. Someone got it for me as a gift along with a record player and one other record we'll get to later. But this was one of the first records I ever had. Next up we have the Talking Heads live at WCOZ 77. It was a Record Store Day release for I believe 2023. This is kind of this is what I like to call the Lestat and Louis of double albums. It's not a gatefold, they just shoved both into the same paper sleeve. But it's a good album. I like it a lot. Up next, we got Quadrophenia by The Who. This was a dream vinyl of mine to own, so I'm very glad that I own it now. It's just beautiful. I love a concept album, let me tell you. Next up, I have The Replacements. It is a Record Store Day exclusive, unsuitable for airplay, Lost KFAI concert. I didn't buy it on Record Store Day. I bought it at Record Fair. This is Future Nostalgia by Dua Lipa, the like special version or whatever. I really like Future Nostalgia. This kind of really the only Dua Lipa that I listen to. I know she has other things, but I think it's a pretty good album. I like the disco inspiration, what can I say? Up next we have Read This Is Why, including This Is Why in the back. This was for Record Store Day 2023. I got it on Record Store Day, and it's not that I regret purchasing this, I just feel like I didn't need to. I did not need to buy this. I fell into the hype, I'll be honest. Did not need to buy this, but I'm not upset that I own it in any way, because look at that. That is such a cool art. But yeah, definitely, this is something that I definitely did not need to purchase that day, so it's not a regret. It's just, maybe I would have done it differently if I had to do it again. Our next section is the 80s 12 inches, because I have a big 12-inch single collection. I love 12-inch singles. So our first 12-inch single is Express Yourself by Madonna. Goes without saying, wonderful song. Y'all actually saw me buy this if you watched my Green Day vlog. I bought it while I was in Pittsburgh at Jerry's Records. I love this song so much. I have a second Erasure 12-inch, Victim of Love, as well. I got them both on the same trip. Next up, Everybody Have Fun Tonight by Wang Chung. I love this song so much. So when I found it as a 12-inch in a record store, I was hyped. Next theme from 9.5 Weeks. What's it called? I Do What I Do. It's fun. I'm just a John Taylor fan, so to own this was really good. I got it, I think, for like $2. I think it was super worth it. We have reached the Wham section. So I have two Wham 12 inches. I have Freedom and Wake Me Up Before You Go Go from the album Make It Big. My friend Ethan was super nice and gifted me this for my birthday, which is super exciting because it goes with my 12 inches. Now we've entered our 80s albums section of the record collection. So first we're going to start off with Gloria Estefan's Let It Loose. I really like this album a lot. I'm a huge Gloria Estefan fan. I think she is so awesome. I really look up to her. She's just so cool. Next up, we have a one-hit wonder, Tony Basil. I have Word of Mouth, which I believe, yeah, Mickey is on this one, so this is the one Mickey's on. I just think the design is so much fun. Next up, I consider her a one-hit wonder. We have Laura Branigan's, I guess technically self-titled album, Branigan. It's the one that has Gloria on it, so, but the rest of the album's pretty good too, but Gloria is obviously the best song. And then we got Pat Benatar. We're out of the one-hit wonders. I love Pat Benatar so much. This album's kind of in bad condition. I don't know if you can see. I don't normally buy albums in this bad of condition, but I got it as a gift, and I was just happy for the thought, and also to own it. I mean, hey, if it's free and a gift, I'm not gonna complain. We have now entered the soundtrack category of my records. So we're gonna start off with a stellar, amazing soundtrack for The Crow, which is one of my favorite movies, killer soundtrack. My parents have it on CD and cassette, so I was able to complete the trifecta with my vinyl version. And up next, we have a record that I'm super excited about. It's the Lost Boys soundtrack. This was a record that I kept looking for because I kept finding it in like stores for like $1 million, and I was like, first of all, I don't want to spend $1 million on a record anyway. But I found it for kind of cheap. The reason is because the outer sleeve is kind of beat up, but everything's there that you need. It's still in the original shrink wrap, which I think is cool. The record sounds fine though. The record sounds great. Another fire soundtrack. A lot of good NXS on this one. Next up is another one that you would have seen me buy if you watched my Green Day video. It's the Monkees, season 1, basically. Not all the songs from season 1. I know I said in the video I bought it that it was all the songs from season 1. That's a lie. There's a few that are missing, but it's most of the songs from season 1. Justice for Mike on this cover. They really just did him so dirty. Davey's like slightly out of focus, but Mike is even more out of focus, and he's like in the middle of talking. Was there not an alternate shot they could have used that was better? Anyway, it's a good record. We are now entering the picture disc section. It's only 2 records in this section, but it's enough to warrant a section. I got this for like $5, I think. I just think it's so funny. It's a picture disc of Barbie and her friends having a picnic. This is what the other side looks like. I just really like vintage Barbie stuff, so just to have something that was like a vinyl with like vintage Barbie branding, I just like it to have, and it wasn't that expensive, so. Next up, we have Dookie as a picture disc. This is one of my many copies of Dookie that I have. Here's the other side. It's pretty cool. It sounds really good, and what I like about this version of Dookie is that in between FUD and All By Myself, there's like a minute of silence, which is what it's supposed to be, unlike records we will get to in the future that may or may not have that. This picture disc is going to transition us into our next section, which is Green Day. So first up, we have International Super Hits. I found this for a pretty cheap price, which I was super excited about. I just love the colors. I know when they put it out, they were like having a little bit of a crisis time, but I actually really like International Super Hits. I think it's a really good greatest hits album, and it's pre-American Idiot, so it's got like Nimrod stuff on it, it's got Insomniac on it, it's got Warning on it. Like God's Favorite Band, which we'll get to later, has a lot less of those types of things. So if you want a lot of, just like a Green Day greatest hits album that has just a lot of like Insomniac and Nimrod and Warning, this is for you. Next, we have a fairly new record to my collection. This is Green Day Live in New Jersey, 1992. It's on white vinyl. I don't really feel like taking it out, so just take my word for it. It's on white vinyl. It sounds okay. Like, it's nothing crazy. I feel like the drums could sound way better, if I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know where they got this recording, but I love pre-Dookie era, like, concerts of theirs and, like, live stuff, but it's always, like, really bad quality and like super crunchy. So the fact that I could just like get it as a vinyl, and even though it doesn't sound great, I didn't expect it to really. But yeah, I like this record a lot actually. He breaks a string in the middle of one of my lives, which is really fun. And of course Knowledge. I love Knowledge, especially when they do it live. And this has a pretty good version of Knowledge on it, I will say. Next up, we have No Fun Mondays by Billy Joe Armstrong. This is his cover album that he released in 2020. This is the black vinyl version. I know there's a colored vinyl version, but I just have the black one. I got it at a record fair. I'm now realizing I have some stuff in just kind of a random spot. It can probably get moved to a different category, so this is my categoryless category. This is Shuba Rarities by NXS. I have a bone to pick with this record. I got it on Record Store Day Black Friday, even though it says it's just a Record Store Day exclusive, but I got it on Record Store Day Black Friday. But let me complain about this record for a second. The album itself is fine. That's not what I have to complain about. I have issues with quality control in the vinyl industry these days. I don't know if you can see. Do you see the edge of that? And if it was just the edge, I'd be like, whatever, it's just the edge. But it's really hard to show up on camera. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there is a hairline crack that runs from this imperfection down into the song and creates a pop noise. And because it's a Record Store Day exclusive, there's nothing I can do about it because it only exists. I'm upset with this record for that. I'm gonna be honest. When you buy a record new in the shrink wrap, it shouldn't have any problems theoretically. And yet, I keep buying records new in the shrink wrap where they have crazy quality control problems. Like, I'm okay with a pop here and there, whatever, you know? But an audible pop that persists from a scratch or a defect from manufacturing? Come on, man, you shouldn't be selling me a record like this. Next up, we have a Record Store Day release that I'm actually happy with, Waiting for the Sky by David Bowie, which I've kept in the shrink wrap, but I have opened it. I know, I open my records. Sue me for listening to the records that I buy. Look at that! Ah, so fun. I love it when people put effort into the inserts and like the record sleeves inside. Like you could just use paper, but instead they made a little design on it. Like that's so much fun. It also just sounds so phenomenal. If you can get your hands on one of these, highly recommend. Especially if you're a David Bowie fan. It's so good. We have reached the next section, which is YouTuber records. So first up, we have To Let Go by Nameless to Battle. I gotta say, Nameless to Battle has never sold me a defective record. His records are like so cheap, they're like 20 bucks, and they always sound great. They're colored, fun things. I will say the quality control on Nameless to Battle vinyl, pretty good. I wish that other things were as good as Nameless to Battle record quality control. Also, fun cover. Next up, I have two signed Ninja Sex Party records, Level Up and These Nuts, and I have a bone to pick with Ninja Sex Party in regards to these records. This Level Up record is one of the worst sounding records I've ever listened to in my life. It is so bad. There's so many problems that I have with this record. I think it might be defective from the factory, and I think the mix they put on this record is just bad. It's just not good. It's not a good record. Never buy a Level Up vinyl. If you find one, just get it on CD. It sounds way better on CD. Don't get it on vinyl. And then I was like, okay, I'll give them a second chance. I'll buy These Nuts when they put it out and see if they make their vinyl better. No, still sounds bad. It doesn't have as many problems as These Nuts has, granted, but I still just don't think they mixed it right for a vinyl. Like, I've played it on my parents' really nice stereo, and the fact that it doesn't sound good there, I mean, there's no saving it at that point. I will say, though, they do a really good job with their packaging design. Like, I love a gatefold. It didn't even need to be a gatefold because it's one record. Something I really love about the Level Up vinyl, they've made it so that if you put Dan on your turntable, you give him a little boner, which is so cute. I like the design. I think they put a lot of great effort into their packaging design. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with the fact that not only does it sound like crap, they are charging me like $40, which, okay, like, yes, charge people $40 for a record when it's good design, like, whatever. But Nameless to Battle charges me $20 for his records, and they sound perfect. So, Ninja Sex Party, you gotta contact Nameless to Battle and see what he's doing, because y'all aren't doing it right with the vinyl. Like, I'm not buying any more vinyl from NSP. Like, I don't care. I'm not doing it. But anyway, next section, which will be a little bit less defeatist, I guess. The Beatles, yay! I'm just gonna go really quick through it. I only have 3 Beatles records. Abbey Road, my favorite Beatles album of all time. I have Revolver, my favorite cover by the Beatles of all time. I wanted it as a vinyl so that I could have it big and look at it. Worth it. And A Hard Day's Night. These are all represses, by the way. None of these are original. I like A Hard Day's Night as well. This one was one of the first records I ever got as well. I think this was the 3rd record I ever got, and I got it as a gift. Our next section and final section for the records is Queen. I'm going to start off with a 12-inch. of course, of We Are the Champions and We Will Rock You. It was a Record Store Day release, but I just got it in a record store. I did not get it on Record Store Day. I don't even know. It's for 2017's Record Store Day. So, yeah, I still have it in the original plastic. And next we have Queen's Greatest Hits. Now, this was in that first... It came with the Beach Boys. I got it as a gift with a record player. And may I say that my world and life was changed by this Greatest Hits record. I loved it so much. I love Queen because of it. I got super into Queen. I'm still very much into Queen. Like, you never, once you get into Queen, you never get out of Queen. Don't take that out of context. That sounded so wrong. But I love this record, and it means so much to me because it really changed my life. Next up, I have my Pride and Joy. This Queen vinyl box set that I love so much. It's so heavy. It has every single studio album by Queen inside of it and a little book, and they're all different colors, and I'll show some B-roll footage from the advertisements because I don't feel like opening it up right now, but I love this thing. In 8th grade, when I was super into Queen, as we already talked about, I wanted this so badly. So I got a little jar, and every single little bit of cash I got from my birthday and from the holidays, I put in this jar, and I saved up the money to purchase this by myself. And I was very proud of myself for that. So I love this thing so much. It just smells so good. I love the smell of it as well. You can take a look. It's all of them. And it is my pride and joy in my life. I also definitely still have the outer packaging it came in. As you can see, it shows all the stuff that it comes with. I just don't keep it on it because when you put that on, you can't open it. And I want to be able to open it and access all of the amazingness that is inside of this vinyl box set that I love very much. So yeah, that's it for the vinyl that's at my house. I have more vinyl at college, so we'll go through that in a minute. But first, let's take a little detour actually, because I have some more stuff to show you guys. Hello, and welcome to the CD section of my room. Yes, of course I have CDs. Who do you think I am? I'm the CD girl. I have my own CD collection. Here it is. It's also organized by vibe. The bottom, I'm just gonna flip through it because you don't need to see. The bottom is every single Beatles album on CD, studio album, including Past Masters, Beatles 1, and my personal love, Beatles Love, which is an album that everybody should listen to. It's very good. I highly recommend it. Some people don't like it. They're wrong. It's really great. Obviously, it's not like a replacement, but that's not what I'm saying. It's like nice to change it up every now and again. I also have down here All the Best by Paul McCartney. Greatest hits album from him. Highly recommend. I have Egypt Station by Paul McCartney. It's fine. You don't need to own this. I have the John Lennon collection. I think this is a greatest hits. I don't know if it's on streaming or not yet. Last time I looked, it wasn't. So if it is, please let me know because I really like this greatest hits album. I think it's really good. I keep this down here as well, mainly because it's 60s themed. This is just a compilation album of #1 hits from the 60s. It's not super common. It's not on streaming. I don't know what the deal is with that because I think it's great. Here is the track listing for anybody who's curious. This CD my mom would play in the car when I was in preschool, so it's got a lot of nostalgia. Next CD that I have is just a Monkees greatest hits album, right? But it's actually signed by Mickey Dolenz that I got when I saw him at the concert. He didn't sign it. I mean, he did sign it, but he didn't sign it for me. They were just selling signed CDs, but I'm a signed CD enthusiast, as you'll see in a minute. Then we have our top section here, and I won't take them out because that would take forever, but I have every single Ninja Sex Party studio album on CD. So from NSFW up until these nuts, I have them on CD. And unlike their vinyl, their CDs sound great. Highly recommend getting Ninja Sex Party CDs. They are, again, way too overpriced, but whatever. The Prophecy is signed and these nuts are signed. All the other ones are not. But also I have their fun albums. So I have Under the Covers Volumes 1, 2, and 3. Volume 3 I have signed. I have Level Up on CD, signed. Very Classy Acoustic Album, signed. And, of course, their most recent, Master Strokes 15 Years of Elegance, which is also signed, because you know it is. If we turn the rotating tower some more, we are met with Nate Wants to Battle stuff. Again, a little bit of YouTuber music, but I like it, okay? I have Paid and Exposure, signed. He sold these in a bundle. He sold Paid and Exposure, Sandcastle Kingdoms, which was really the only reason I bought the bundle, because I wanted Paid Exposure and Sandcastle Kingdoms, but also what came in the bundle was the FNAF Ultimate Collection and Enjoy the Show, which are also signed. And of course, I have To Let Go, which is signed as well. But this isn't a regular jewel case, unlike the other ones, which aren't. I have the Jonas Brothers. I have the Jonas Brothers self-titled bonus Jonas edition, so it comes with, you know, gatefold, extra stuff, DVDs. Fun. I have a little bit longer as a fancy version as well. My favorite part about this specific version of A Little Bit Longer is it comes with a bonus track, Hello Goodbye by the Beatles. They covered it, and it's not on like streaming, but you can find it on YouTube. I wish I could play a little bit because it's wonderful, but I don't want to get copyrighted. Just letting you know, search it out. It's a Jonas Brothers version of Hello Goodbye, and I absolutely love it so much. I have a normal version of Lines, Vines, and Trying Times. So, you know, just open it, regular CD. And I have Happiness Begins. I still have yet to get the album, which is their most recent one, and their first album, which I don't even remember what it's called off the top of my head, but those two I still have yet to get on CD as well. Next, I have one of my favorite albums of all time, Mother's Milk by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. This is the back of it. Not all the backs look like this. Some of them look different. I'll put it on the screen what the other ones look like. Ask me about this and get ready for an hour-long conversation where I just ramble to you about why it's so good. And next we have Clancy by the 21 Pilots that I got from a record store listening party thing. So this is a like special album cover that you could buy when you got it. I like this album a lot. Specifically, I really like Overcompensate. That's my favorite song on it. I know it's really basic because it's the main single, but I think it's the best song on it, so I don't care. I'm back in the dungeon again. But Rose, you're saying to yourself, this is your parent CD collection. What are you doing in the dungeon? Well, let's just say I have more CDs than there are in my room. There's a few reasons why I might put a CD down here. The main one being not enough room for it. The second one being maybe my parents already had CDs of this band and then I bought a CD and I felt weird keeping it in my room when we had this band in the basement, so I just put it with the other ones. So anyway, I'm here to go over the CDs that I have that I consider to be my CDs that are here in the dungeon. We're gonna start off with the Beatles Anthology 1, 2, and 3. My parents have it on vinyl. 1, 2, and 3. This is not the order, or is it? Maybe. Did I get the order right? I think it goes 2, 3, 1. Oops. But anyway, they don't fit, obviously, upstairs because they're so thick, and my CD rack has the pre-existing slats in it. We've already gone over why. Can't fit thick things in there, so they're down here. Next up is my Green Day CD collection. My parents already had a whole bunch of Green Day, so I've just kind of been working to fill out their discography. I have Dookie, so there's our second Dookie of the video. Insomniac, obviously. Nimrod, my beloved. I love Nimrod so much. I will talk your ear off about Nimrod forever. 21st Century Breakdown, which was weirdly hard to find, but then after I found it on CD, now I'm finding it everywhere. It has this one is a version that has a bonus disc. Not all of them do, but this one has the bonus disc. Shenanigans, I also got. It doesn't have the Shenanigans sticker, which made me a little bit sad, but maybe I'll find the Shenanigans sticker one day and stick it on. The BBC Sessions, which just came out a few years ago. And then, of course, I have their two greatest hits albums. International Super Hits, which we've already talked about, and God's Favorite Band, which I love as well. It's just different. It has Kerplunk stuff on it, though. By Kerplunk stuff, I mean one song from Kerplunk. So if you want early Green Day, this technically has it. Next up is just some random ones that I keep down here. Sum 41, All Killer, No Filler. Bowling for Soup, A Hangover You Don't Deserve. This one has video as well. I haven't watched the DVD, but the CD works. Panic at the Disco, Fever You Can't Sweat Out. Kind of topical since they got back together. I don't even care anymore. Kiss, Double Platinum, doesn't really go. But I also have this one. Ooh, shiny. Next, I have a confession to make. I have two of these. This one's my dad's, actually. And let me show you. This is kind of like fun and special. It's unopened, first of all. It's like fancy. It's got like a fancy cardboard around it. It's still got the original Height sticker. I wanted to listen to it on CD because the CD version of this looks really cool. But I didn't want to open this super fun, special, hasn't been opened since 2008 My Chemical Romance album. So what did I do? I bought my own. I didn't feel as bad as opening this one because it was a reissue, like whatever. The whole reason for buying a second Black Parade, oh yeah, look at that. Excellent. I'm a sucker for packaging design. What can I say? Look at the sides of them in comparison to each other. Like, obviously they're not the same version of it, but I keep them together down here so they can be friends. This is just mine. This is Danger Days. I'm a big Danger Days fan. I think it's my favorite era of My Chemical Romance, okay? But yeah, That's everything I have in my parents' house, so I will see you guys in my apartment for more music stuff that I keep there. Hello, and welcome to my closet, where I keep the rest of my music collection, which is over here. This is also not alphabetized, and it's not even really section organized. It's just so small that I just know where everything is. First thing we're gonna start out with is Crazy from the Heat by David Lee Roth. Now, you guys, if you watched a kind of an older thrift video with me, you would have seen me purchase this vinyl, and I still have it up here. I love this EP so much. It makes me so happy. Next up, we have Paid in Exposure by Nate Wants to Battle. Yes, another Nate Wants to Battle thing, another YouTuber thing. Look, I like YouTuber music. I don't know what to tell you. But this album is actually my favorite of his. I think it's so good. If you like Death of a Bachelor era Panic at the Disco, I would say that this you will also probably like. Next up, we have the Rocky Horror Show's 50th Anniversary Edition. I love this record. This is probably one of my favorite records that I have. Like, legitimately, it is so cool. It makes me so happy. It really is so special to me to hear the beginnings of a musical that really just means so much to me. To be able to like hear Richard go through like dialogue that he's workshopping, just to hear the beginnings of where it started is so awesome. This was a record store day release. I don't know if it's on streaming. I can't really find it very well, but I recommend if you're a Rocky Horror fan and you can get your hands on one of these, highly recommend. It is very cool. Up next, we have the Rocky Horror Picture Show soundtrack on red vinyl. I felt bad borrowing my mom's copy, and I was like, I kind of want my own copy so that I can give my mom hers back, and this one is different, so it worked out perfectly. Now, remember what I said about not wanting to steal my parents' stuff? This is actually my parents' copy of A Night at the Opera by Queen, and you might be like, Rose, didn't you just show us that really big Queen vinyl box set in your room? And yes, I did show you that, and I love that thing so much. But it's very heavy and big and doesn't fit. Like, I barely have any room in here. You think I can fit a whole Queen box set in here? No. So I'm gonna steal my parents' copy and have it here temporarily in college, so that if I ever want to listen to my favorite Queen album, A Night at the Opera, I can. Next up, I have another 12-inch single, which no one is surprised about. It's Tears for Fears, Broken, and Head Over Heels, Broken. My favorite part of Songs of a Big Chair is the transition from Broken to Head Over Heels, Broken, and the fact that they call back to one another. So the fact that I could get it on a 12-inch single, just like by itself, that was amazing. I'm so happy that this exists and that I own it now. Next up, we have Hard Times by David Byrne and Burning Down the House by Paramore, another 12-inch single that I got on Record Store Day 2023. Paramore does a very good job of burning down the house, and when I heard that they were collaborating with David Byrne himself to make this 12-inch single with David Byrne covering Hard Times, like, that broke my brain. It was like my two worlds colliding in the most spectacular way. Next up, we have Stop Making Sense by the Talking Heads. I love this album. If you know me, you know that I'm obsessed with this album. I historically don't often like live versions of songs more than studio versions of songs, but the songs on Stop Making Sense blow every single studio version of the song out of the water. There's really not a good reason to listen to the studio version after you've heard the Stop Making Sense version. This is probably my most listened to vinyl up here in my collection. Next up, we have a vinyl that is very exciting to me. It's Mother's Milk by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yes, my favorite Chili Peppers album on vinyl. This was a dream vinyl for me to own. If y'all haven't listened to Mother's Milk by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, you should go do that. It is their best album in my opinion. I will die on that hill. We have now reached the Green Day section of my vinyl collection, starting with Dookie. Of course I have Dookie on vinyl regularly up here. I listen to this album all the time. This is their 30th anniversary edition on blue vinyl. I actually think it sounds really good. I do have a problem with it though. I have a problem with the fact that there's no space in between FUD and All By Myself. It just goes from one song into the other song. That's not how it's supposed to be. It should go in, it should have a space because it's a secret. Next up we have Insomniac 25th Anniversary Edition. It's so shiny. I love it so much. But let me show you what side one of my vinyl looks like. Also, it's a Louis and Lestat situation where they just threw both into one thing. Like, give me a gatefold. Come on, is it that hard to give a gatefold? So anyway, here's side two of the record. It looks normal, right? It looks normal. Oh hey, you can see you guys in the reflection. Let me show you side one. Excuse me, why is it white? I know how vinyl is made. I know how you put the paper on the bottom, you put the puck of vinyl in the middle, then you put the label on the top and you smush it all together. So I think what happened was someone put it upside down. The quality control in the vinyl industry, guys. Here it is. Next up we have American Idiot 20th anniversary on red splatter vinyl. Now, I was super excited for this to come in the mail. I ordered it as a pre-order, and it came in the mail, and I was very excited. I opened it up. It looked super cool. I then listened to it, and there is a really big scratch on side 4 from Homecoming into the basically first chorus of What's Her Name. I was like, well, that's a problem. It is crazy how a vinyl can just come to you like that out of the shrink wrap. So I emailed the Green Day web store, and they were like, we don't have any more of these in our stock, but if you want to return it for a refund, you can do that. Here's a shipping label. And the thing is that I don't want my money back. I want a working copy of American Idiot 20th Anniversary. I bought it for a reason. I didn't buy it being like, oh, I'm just gonna look at it. I bought it because I want to listen to it, okay? So I'm still going to keep it. I'm not gonna return it for money because then I will have no American Idiot red splatter vinyl anymore, and that will make me very sad. Next up, we have Saviors by Green Day that I got when I listened to it at a record store listening party. So I got the special pink outer sleeve for it, and it is the special version with the half black, half pink vinyl. This actually I have no notes on. It sounds great. If y'all haven't listened to Saviors, you should go listen to Saviors because it's really good. And this album, it's very aptly titled because it did save me. And I put it on all the time. I listen to it all the time. It makes me so happy. Now, last but not least, for the vinyl that I have up in my room at college is Green Day's God's Favorite Band. This was the first Green Day vinyl that I bought. I was like, oh, I'll just buy the Greatest Hits vinyl and then I won't have to buy another Green Day vinyl ever again. Obviously, that didn't happen, as you see. Next up, we have my 45 collection, Speed Round. Mickey by Tony Basil, which I have the LP for at my parents' house. I saw her standing there by the Beatles' 30-year anniversary. Duran Duran's The Wild Boys, which I went over in my parents' sorting their vinyl collection, as my mom already having, so I didn't need to buy this. Rio by Duran Duran, I think this is a promotional white label copy because it's just Rio on both sides and it is white. Chains of Love by Erasure, it's my favorite Erasure song of all time. I think everybody should go out and listen to the song right now, it's really good. Basket Case and When I Come Around by Green Day. You would think this actually isn't the picture sleeve that goes with this, but it is. This is a Kellogg's Snap, Crackle, and Pop vinyl that I got at a antique store. It's just 6 Kellogg's jingles all in a 45. I have no idea why this exists, but it does, and it makes me laugh. Just a Gigolo and California Girls by David Lee Roth from that Crazy from the Heat EP that I talked about. As you can see, it's not even close to being in the picture sleeve. We have Angel by Madonna, The Safety Dance by Men Without Hats. We have Cool Cat by Queen, which was released for Record Store Day 2023. I love this song so much. I'm a Hot Space enjoyer. If y'all want to argue with me about that, you can, but Hot Space is a certified banger album, and I will die on that hill. We Are the Champions with We Will Rock You by Queen. I also have this as a 12-inch single, as you saw earlier. Arabian Nights by Susie and the Banshees. This is Burning Down the House by the Talking Heads, not by Paramore. And Fat by Weird Al Yankovic, which I don't even know if I've listened to this. I just thought it was funny to have. Next up, we have my CDs, and all the CDs I have up here are by Green Day. I have the Basket Case CD single by Green Day. I'm very excited about this one. This one is a more recent one that I got. It also has On the Wagon, Tired of Waiting for You, and Throw a 9 in Your Coffee Maker on it, so that's pretty darn sweet. Obviously, I'm gonna have Saviors on CD as well. Who do you think I am? I'm a Saviors enjoyer. Next up, we have Nimrod, the 25th anniversary on CD. I love how Green Day's box sets come with things like this one comes with a patch, and I also laminated the hype sticker, and it comes with a little fake backstage pass. Next is my last copy that I have of Dookie. It's the Dookie 30th anniversary box set on CD. This one came with a pin set. It came with a air freshener that I haven't opened, stickers that I'm never sticking to anything because they go with the box set, and a magnet that I have on my fridge right now. And last but not least, the most recent one that came out, the American Idiot 20th Anniversary CD box set. This one sounds fine, Every CD that Green Day has sent me has been great and wonderful and awesome. Have no issues with the quality control in that regard. This one, I again laminated the hype sticker. This one came with pins and a patch. No Dookie patch with the CD box that I just realized. Some stickers as well. I also almost forgot. Hold on, I actually have 2 cassettes as well. They're Green Day. Shocker. The first one is Bowling, 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 Parking, Parking. I'm pretty sure they're real. If they're not, that's fine. They can be bootlegs. And then also International Super Hits. So if you're keeping track, I own International Super Hits on vinyl, cassette, and CD, and I also have International Super Videos. So I've completed the International Super Hits collection of things you can have. So that is the end of my music collection as of now, as of 11/11/2024. That is my music collection that I have. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't yap for too long, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!